Welcome to Meet Your Army, hosted by the Army Outreach Division in support of U.S. Army Public Affairs. I'm Hank Manitrez, and we have got a great show for you. Our guest is Brigadier General Jeth Rey. He serves as the director of the Network Cross-Functional Team at Army Futures Command. Now, over the next 30 minutes or so, he will share his Army story and reflect on African Americans' immense achievements and historic contributions in the Army. Now, regardless of where you're joining us from or how you found us, we want to thank you for watching this timely discussion. Sir, I am so excited to talk about your story. I think it's so very fascinating. But before we jump into our discussion, I'd like to offer it up to you to have, if you have any opening remarks or thoughts you'd like to share with us.
No, thanks so much. I am so honored to be here this evening. Look forward to talking to you and getting my story out. This is actually the second time in my career that I've actually had an opportunity to tell my story, and I think tonight it'll be engaging, and I look forward to it. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, we're honored that we are the second to talk about your story. Just in talking with you before we did our production here, I'm so fascinated by how you got your start. You've had such an amazing journey. Youngest of 8, raised in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I can't wait to talk about how you where you were born and where you moved around and ended up getting your citizenship. But right out of high school, like so many of us, you decided to join the Army. But here's where it gets interesting for folks. You've been enlisted. Then you decided you wanted to be a warrant officer, and then later on a commissioned officer. And here you are now, 39 years coming up, 39 years of service, and you're a general officer. And I did some math. You have held in your career 15 different ranks, enlisted, officer, and commissioned. Tell us a little bit about that journey. What got you to start it, and what inspires you to continue to serve, sir?
Well, thanks so much. I guess I'll start out with that most people don't really know that I was born. They know that I'm from St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands, but they don't know I was really born in Anguilla, a small island in the British West Indies. It's actually across from a place that most people are familiar with, which is St. Martin. But it's still owned by the Queen, and it's the British. And my mom, when I was 3 months old, moved to St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands. And from there, when I was a little in my teens, visited my sister in Virginia Beach, and I decided that, I really loved it and I wanted to stay there and kind of hang out in Virginia. And I finished up my time in high school in Virginia Beach. While I was in Virginia Beach, what was key to start really my journey was I decided to join Navy ROTC, NJROTC at my high school. And the reason I started and joined that was not only for a foundation, but what most people don't know is I really actually, needed a jacket and clothes that I needed for school to wear. So, and we wore a uniform twice a week, which was really good for me, right? So I had a coat to stay warm, but that environment taught me a lot of things, right? It taught me discipline. It taught me, it gave me structure, organization. And I eventually rose to become the commander of my Navy ROTC program. And then from there, I decided, right after high school to join the military. And that story in itself is unique because I was in Navy ROTC, I wanted to join the Navy first, but I wanted to leave immediately, and they could not get me into the Navy. So I defaulted to the Marine Corps. They couldn't get me out immediately. And then I defaulted to the Army. The Army said, we can get you out the next morning. So absolutely. So my mom and my sister signed the paperwork, and I was off and running to the Army, and I've been in the Army ever since.
That's amazing. Yes, we do offer the Quick Ship program. We'll get you out of here pretty soon if you're really ready to get off to training. That's amazing, sir. I think that resonates with a lot of people who are serving now. A lot of us have a similar background. You talk about having to, you did it because you needed clothing, you needed a coat. I think that resonates with a lot of people. The Army provided you an opportunity, a unique opportunity. While you were in high school, you're doing the Navy Junior ROTC, but it's still, a similar vein of service. But once you got out of high school and into the Army, what opportunities would you say came your way? And what advice would you give to somebody who might be unsure about what the future holds for them? They might be in a similar situation, similar circumstances, and they've got challenges to overcome like you had. What would you tell them?
Yeah, the Army is the military in general is an incredible institution. And you know, I am biased because I've been serving in the Army for so long that I believe this institution is one of the best. And I would tell you, it provides incredible opportunities. And my wife and I, we often talk about it. And we talk about, you know, it gives you, number one, a chance to come in and get a, you know, a feel or a military operational skill. They pay you for that skill. They house you. You get clothing, and you get food to eat. It's an incredible opportunity. It's the only place that I usually tell the stories that a C student can tell an A student that they can fly an aircraft. And what I say is most people are mechanics on aircraft. The A students actually fly the aircraft coming out of college, but they won't fly it until that mechanic tells them that it's okay to fly the aircraft. Isn't that a funny story?
No, but that's so very true. You're absolutely right on the money. You've been in the Army for nearly 4 decades coming up, and that's not just an impressive career, very successful career, but it means that you've been able to witness the Army through a lot of our modern history. What would you say are some of the biggest differences you've seen in the Army since joining in '83, and then now that we're in the 21st century, especially when it comes to diversity in the ranks and leadership philosophy?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when I first joined the Army leaders ate first. Soldiers ate second. Today, soldiers eat first, leaders eat last. That's a big change, a fundamental change that the Army decided it wanted to take on. And I thought that is an incredible move. Now, what else changed? I came in as a signal leader, and I often tell the team that we were analog when I first came in. We were digital. We moved to IP, and now we're in this cloud, machine learning, data-centric kind of environment, which is fundamentally different for the Army. But our senior leaders are understanding the importance of that capability going forward. The other thing is that, you know, not only is the Army an institution that they provide you an education internally, you can now see enlisted, warrant, and officers getting degrees. So we have a more educated Army today than we've ever had before, which I think is absolutely incredible. And we're sharing that with our partner nations, which I think is absolutely incredible as well.
No, I would completely agree. You know, I spent 3 years as a recruiter, and we talk about the education aspect, the benefits that are there, and the opportunities that exist now are just so amazing, you know, to start and finish a degree while you're on active duty. And then if you choose that you want to leave active duty after your commitment, then there's financial freedom for you to continue your education after service as well. So, sir, I think you're spot on. And I think that you're a shining example of a soldier who came in and saw all these opportunities and then went after them. Because remember, nothing falls in your lap. No one's just going to give you anything. But the most we can do in the Army is educate you about, hey, look, these are opportunities and benefits for you. Go after them. And I hate to use the old tagline, but be all you can be. That was the tagline when you and I came in, sir.
That is the tagline. And I often tell folks, be all you can be was my tagline. And I wanted to make sure I lived it out. So when I came in the military as a young enlisted, and this opportunity is there for everyone out there that wants to join this great institution. the opportunity to move through the ranks is available to everyone. You just have to take advantage of getting after the paperwork that is required to get you selected to move to the next phase. But as an enlisted, I decided I wanted to make the rank of E7 as fast as possible so that I could become a warrant, because I wanted to be, have that specialty under me. I want to understand my MOS, my military operational skill better than anyone else. So I got to the E7 rank within 7.5 years.
That's amazing.
And then I transitioned to become a warrant. Now, I wanted to be a warrant for the rest of my time, but there were mentors and people that believed in who I was and gave me the opportunity. I mean, General Townsend, now the commander of Africa, he and others saw in me the ability to become an officer. I told him at that point, sir, I do not have a degree, hadn't been to college, but I'm working on it. I'm going to school at night. That's another opportunity for folks out there that may not understand. There's an opportunity to go to college in the evening. I did that. And once I was completed, I went to OCS, and on my OER, that General Townsend wrote for me stated that I would be right on there, the Distinguished Honor Graduate of my OCS class, which I was, thank God. But it worked out. But I tell you, that's leaders who believe in you and mentor you along the way. And I'm so grateful and thankful that there are mentors in the military that take you under their wing. And I see it happening day in and day out. So I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, sir. And it's so much a two-way street with that. You worked hard, you applied yourself, you went after things, and you were a go-getter. And your supervisors, your mentors, your leaders noticed that in you. They saw that spark. They saw something in you that you may not have even seen yourself. And they are the ones who lifted you up and helped you to achieve the things that you've achieved. And that's something that I like to talk about, because there's always these perceived myths and perceptions that people have about the Army, just that they get from TV and movies, that, all we do is walk around in our dress uniforms. We salute each other all the time, no matter what rank. And somewhere, somehow, someone's getting yelled at or doing push-ups. And what they don't see are the stories like you just explained. Look, if you really do work hard, someone's going to take notice and they're going to lift you up. They're going to help you get other opportunities. If you're just there to kind of ride the wave, take your benefits and enjoy your next life after the Army, if that's what you want to do. But if you really want to go after it, there's avenues for you, and there are leaders out there who care enough to help you do that. So thanks for sharing that story, sir. Now, we'd be a little remiss if we didn't talk about the history of our Army and our country without mentioning stories of service of African Americans. We've talked about General Rey. Sacrifice and selfless service on behalf of our country go all the way back to the founding days of our nation, even when many would not see freedom in their lifetime or would face discrimination when they returned home from war. Since the Revolutionary War, African Americans have been a part of every major war campaign that our country has been a part of. Some of the most well-known stories include the celebrated 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment during the Civil War, the contributions of Dr. Lewis Tompkins Wright. He was a lieutenant colonel during World War I who introduced the injection method for the smallpox vaccine that was eventually adopted by the Army as the medical standard for soldiers getting vaccines. And of course, the Tuskegee Airmen during the Second World War. Speaking of which, we were saddened to hear of the passing of Brigadier General Charles McGee at the age of 102. He, of course, was one of the few remaining Tuskegee Airmen. We've also lost General Colin Powell, Vietnam veteran, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the first African-American Secretary of State. And in December 2021, history made again as Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cash became the first African-American service member to receive the Medal of Honor for actions during the War on Terror. Now, sir, why do you think, either from your own experiences or conversations with others in the Army, why do you think there's such a remarkable dedication to service, especially considering the hardships throughout our nation's history?
Yeah, first of all, I think I'm standing on the shoulders of all those heroes you just spoke about. And I am honored to be part of this incredible institution, like I stated before, and thanks for their sacrifices that they have given. Some have given their lives, some have given, just their time and effort over these many years. And I think it really comes down to they just love this country and they care about, that men and women in this country will have an opportunity, on 4th of July to enjoy their independence. And I think they just want to, give everything they have to ensure that freedom continues and we have a democratic environment for everyone to live in. And so I think it's just selfless service. I think it's just pure dedication and a lot of honor is why folks continue to serve in this great army.
Well, sir, as a follow-up to that, how do stories like the ones that I mentioned, or is there another story perhaps, or another individual in the Army that have had an impact on you or have inspired your service? Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, it goes all the way back to even before I joined the Army. Sergeant Major Jesse, who was a friend of mine, who's still a friend of mine today, Jesse Williams, he lives in Virginia Beach. I watched him, a Vietnam veteran, and he inspired me to become, I think, the soldier that I am today. And it's people like him who fought in that war that when they came home, they didn't get the welcome back that, some of us have in the many, wars that we have been part of. But I tell you, those are the men and women that I believe today they're getting that recognition, but really we stand on their shoulders. And he's one that really inspired me. A lot of people don't know him, but what he did for me and me watching him as I grew up, how professional he was, and the things that he did during that time that I know was probably a little dark for him, and watched him perform was really inspiring to me growing up. Now there's others along the way. I mean, John Colin Powell, I watched him along the way. I got an opportunity to speak to him online before. Didn't get a chance to do it face to face, but just watching him and all the things that he achieved and the mentorship that he provided to, the African American officers and throughout the Army was just absolutely incredible. And I just was honored that I was a part of that. So I really appreciate him sharing his wisdom with us.
That's amazing, sir. Thank you for sharing that. It's important for people to hear that, so they do understand that, it's okay to look up to somebody who looks like you,
Correct.
comes from a background just like you, and think to themselves, that could be me someday. And I think we've got people tuning in that are probably in the same situation, looking at you going, wow, look at this guy. I mean, you came from very humble beginnings. And I think as you and I were talking before this production, you've had a couple of pinch myself moments where you just couldn't believe it. There's one in particular you shared with me, coming from where you came from all the way up through the ranks, and here you are at the White House. Tell me about that.
Yeah, what an incredible piece. And I shared it with my mom. My mom has passed since, but she was just honored to meet the President of the United States. And I worked for President Obama. So here I am, a young kid, growing up in the Virgin Islands, barefooted, learned gymnastics. My pockets are out of my pants, and I'm doing a round off back handspring. We had that picture. And I used to tell the story to all the kids in school, just inspiring them to kind of think about this institution, to be a part of it. And I would tell them, think about this. That's me about to do that round off back handspring. And look at this next picture I'm going to show you. And I'm walking next to the President of the United States of America with his hand on my shoulder. Again, a kid who's a naturalized citizen, had an opportunity to join the military. And then, oh, by the way, because I kept my record clean, and that's a big thing for those out there that are listening tonight, is that, keep your record clean. And, make sure your character, which is the most important thing that you can ensure that you keep sound, is your character. You too can walk next to the President of the United States. And I believe that. And then I just honor that moment that I had the opportunity to serve at the executive level.
That's amazing, sir. Just an incredible, incredible story. And you're so right. Character is paramount in the Army. Again, working as a recruiter, you know, you get young men, young women coming in. They really want to join. And you get through, you know, the initial pre-qualification, you know, did you graduate high school? Are you still in high school? Do you have a GED? Do you have a college diploma? You know, what's your medical situation like? And, oh, by the way, sign this so I can go do a background check on you. And that's where we lost quite a few that, you know, they just did not keep the record clean. So I think your advice is spot on, sir. I'd echo that. Keep your records clean. If you're looking to join the military, we have plenty of opportunity for you, but you got to meet our standards too as well. Sir, do you think soldiers starting out, and this is just, you know, your own opinion, do you think that we're seeing enough diversity in the ranks today? What do you think the Army could do to better encourage more diversity in the ranks?
You know, coming in 1983, like you said, I didn't see a lot of people that look like me in the senior ranks or even in the upper echelon of the ranks. But today I can tell you it is a big change. And I think the Army is doing an incredible job to ensure that the opportunities are there and available for, you know, diversity within the ranks. And this is diversity not only from an African American perspective, but also from, you know, females and others as well. So, I mean, I think they're trying everything they can and putting all the tools on the table to allow the opportunities to be there. But again, I say it often when I'm online and I'm doing leadership development programs, it really comes down to you individually to ensure that your character is sound and that you're a leader that they would want to put in a position of responsibility. So you have an obligation. It's not only because the color of your skin or any of the other things that we look at diversity, it really comes down to you individually doing the hard work to be chosen for those positions of responsibility.
Absolutely agree with that, sir. And thank you for sharing that. Well, we're getting just about to the end of our interview. Is there anything about your story we haven't talked about? Any question I haven't asked that you'd like to, you know, let the audience know about or let your family know, because you know they're going to be tuning in.
Yeah, I mean, my brothers and sisters are probably tuning in, and you know, I really thank them for, you know, mentoring me along the way. You know, I wish my mom was here to witness this. She had a lot to do with my upbringing and teaching me and coaching and mentoring me. I mean, she was my first mentor. I look at her as my first mentor, and she really was an incredible lady to take care of 8 kids along the way, and then my wife. This woman is absolutely amazing. And most people in the military know my wife, Carla. She is absolutely amazing. And she's taught me so much when I've been in command and things. She's a psychologist, a former soldier as well, 26 years of service, retired colonel, and has taught me so much when it comes to understanding, you know, the psychology and how to treat my soldiers with dignity and respect. Has just been absolutely amazing. So I thank her and my son, who's a nurse. I know he's probably also tuning in. He's a nurse in Houston. Thank you so much for making me proud and continue to do great things. So, no, I'll leave people with this part though. One thing, there's 5 things that I told people I live my life on these 5 pillars, and most of the soldiers that have worked for me. Number 1 is family. Family is important. So the number 1 thing I ask folks to take care of is take care of your family. 2, continue to educate yourself. Education should be a lifelong learning thing together. 3 is your fitness, mentally, spiritually, and physically fit. 4, I want you to present yourself well wherever you go, on and off duty. And then the last piece is to perform. If you live with those 5 pillars, you can't go wrong.
That's some excellent, excellent advice, sir. And I appreciate you sharing that, especially the family portion. As Chief of Staff of the Army, General James McConville likes to say, we recruit soldiers, but we retain families.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, for those of us who've had lengthy careers in the Army, both soldier and civilian, it really is the support of that family that enables us to continue to serve and to be effective and to contribute to the security of our nation. So you're spot on, sir. Well, we're just about to wrap up. So I thought we'd shift gears, talked about some serious things there, some deep issues. But sir, if it's okay with you, I'd like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions. This is just a fun game that we like to play at the end of the show. Rapid fire questions, and just give me the first answer that pops into your head. Are you game for that, sir?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Game on. Favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Saving Private Ryan. Love it.
Cool. Good movie. Good movie. Most recent book you've read?
Get to the Point. Incredible book.
Get to the point.
Suggested to everyone. Get to the point.
Excellent. Excellent. What would you be doing if you didn't join the Army? What do you think?
If I didn't join the Army, I would be a teacher and a track coach.
Nice. Nice. You've done so many different jobs in the Army. Is there one that you did not do that you would love to try for at least a day?
If I could turn the clock back to be an enlisted soldier, I wanted to be a drill sergeant and never had the opportunity.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. I could see that. Favorite duty station?
Hawaii.
I think that goes without saying. That's pretty awesome. Favorite school the Army has sent you to?
Jump Master School.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And then I had
that?
the opportunity to be an instructor at the Jump Master School. So absolutely incredible.
Oh, that's legit. That is so cool, sir. Person from history that you would have dinner with and why?
General Colin Powell. I truly wish I had the opportunity to sit in front of him and pick his brain and just understand get some wisdom and understand, you know, how his path, just like we're talking tonight, just, you know, listen to his path.
Amazing, amazing. I would have to agree with you. I'd love to sit and listen to him. All right, this one will be interesting because you've had 15 different ranks. What was the rank you wore when you had the most fun in the Army?
Captain, company commander. Absolutely incredible time, you know, just mentoring and having fun with those folks. So captain. Nice,
nice. Favorite ACFT event?
Oh boy, it's the run. I'm a runner.
So that, I guess that answers the next question, run or ruck?
Run. I steal souls for a living. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Well, sir, I got to thank you. First of all, thank you for sharing your story. I knew this was going to be a great conversation. I hope the folks tuning in enjoyed it as much as I did just sitting here listening to you, and for being an inspiration to all of us. Just amazing. I'd like to give you an opportunity just to kind of leave us with any more parting thoughts that you might have before we turn it off.
No, thank you so much for a great evening and the opportunity to speak to everyone tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been absolutely incredible. I had a chance to tell my story. Hope each of you enjoy it. And oh, by the way, you know, thanks for those cool rapid questions along the way. I thought they were absolutely incredible. But, you know, I leave everyone with this. This institution is an incredible place to be a part of. So if along your journey, you know, you want to think about joining this great institution, you can't go wrong. You get to go a lot of places, meet a lot of incredible people, and learn a lot of things that you've never experienced in your life. So, you know, come join us. We're a great institution. Thank you.
Thank you very much again, sir. And thank you, everyone who's tuned in. Thank you for joining us. I'm Hank Manitrez, and we'll see you next time.